Something is not my cup of tea refers to the fact that you don't like or you dislike an item. Oftentimes, our likes and dislikes have a significant impact on our health, and this is what we examine on HealthWize. On this week's program, we're looking at our cup of tea, what it contains and how it impacts our lives. You're welcome to HealthWize. Having a cup of tea, cocoa, or coffee has become part of everyday social engagement. You have it at home, we have it in our offices, on the way to work, on the way back from work. In fact, it's a way of welcoming someone into the home. Do you want a cup of tea? Would you like to have a cup of tea? But most times, no consideration is given to the contents of what we drink in our tea and our coffee. Predominantly in the coffee and tea, we have caffeine. And caffeine is a drug. Irrespective of how it is brandished or made available, it is still a drug, and it has impact on our health. On today's program, we're going to be examining caffeine, its presentation, and how this impacts on our health. HealthWize looks at our choices, and if these choices would have short, long, or medium-term impact on our health. And this is why we're looking at caffeine, because it's most popularly used. In fact, caffeine as a stimulant is the most widely used stimulant across the world than any other thing, beating alcohol or even nicotine. Looking into caffeine today will be a critical thing in our program on HealthWize. Tea is an aromatic beverage prepared by adding cured leaves of Camellia sinensis plant to hot water. The term refers also to the plant itself. After water, worldwide, tea is the most widely consumed beverage in the world. It has a cooling, a slightly bitter, and an astringent effect, but a flavor which many enjoy. The term herbal tea usually refers to infusions of fruit or herbs made without the tea plant, such as rosehip tea or chamomile tea. There are 6 different types of teas: white, yellow, green, oolong, black, and post-fermented teas, of which the most commonly found on the market are the white, green, oolong, and black tea. Some varieties, such as traditional oolong tea or pu'er tea, are post-fermented teas and are said to be medicinal. On the other hand, coffee is brewed as a beverage with black acidic flavor, prepared from roasted seeds of coffee plant, colloquially called coffee beans. These beans are found in coffee cherries, which grow on trees cultivated in over 70 countries all around the world. Coffee can be stimulating for humans due to its caffeine effect and is one of the most commonly drunk beverages in the world. Coffee has played a crucial role in many societies. The energizing effect of coffee bean is thought to have been discovered in northeastern region of Ethiopia, and the cultivation of coffee first expanded in the Arab world. The earliest credible evidence of coffee drinking appears in the middle of the 15th century in southern Arabia, but coffee has spread to India, Italy, and the rest of Europe, as well as the Americas. Coffee berries, which contain coffee seeds or beans, are produced by several species. Once ripe, coffee berries are picked, processed, dried, and then goes through a roasting process. The roasting, at various degrees and extent, then determines the flavor that is obtained. They are then ground and brewed to create coffee, which is traditionally marketed. Coffee can be prepared and presented in a variety of ways. Lastly, energy drinks are beverages popularly advertised that they boost energy and are derived from a variety of ingredients, but most of these drinks contain majorly sugar and caffeine. Caffeine being the main stimulant as found in coffee and tea. Energy drinks are typically attractive to young people, and approximately 65% of its drinkers are between the ages of 13 and 35, with males being approximately 65% of the market energy drink consumers. Energy drinks are most popular as drink mixers in the hospitality trade.
Tea is my preference. I take about 2 cups a day, one in the morning and one later in the day.
My Persian background makes me to drink tea. So it's a kind of discrimination maybe, because I prefer tea. Besides of being Persian, I'm doctor, okay? So I know that the coffee acts very fast, and the tea is for long term, but not exactly very powerful action over our nervous system. So I prefer tea.
I prefer tea.
Tea is mostly in this kind of climate we are, just to keep you warm. That is personally why I take tea.
Because of our traditions and cultural behavior, sometimes we used to drink coffee or tea, but after an age, we will realize that both of them, they are not really healthy. I would like to suggest you, if it is not really, it bothers you, I would like to suggest you to don't use coffee, because if you have heart problems or blood pressure, it is going to affect you very fast. If I'm not exaggerating, sometimes maybe more than 10 cups. I know that sometimes it looks kind of making publicities, positive publicity for someone or against. I never suggest anybody to take energy drink, because it is acting immediately over our nervous system, central nervous system. It affects our blood pressure, it affects our thoughts, and it affects our hemodynamic system. And I suggest it is better running 5-10 minutes, making jogging than taking such a drink.
Well, from our opinion polls, you can identify that people still enjoy their rich cup of coffee, whether it be a cappuccino, a latte, and also people still indulge, and more even, are indulging in energy drinks, as these are easy to carry about and they don't require heating or temperature. But the bottom line of it is there is a caffeine intake, and that is what we're looking at. Caffeineism is an issue that is increasing amongst people. It has impact in mental retardation. There are physical, mental, and psychological effects of increased caffeine intake, and especially even in people who are pregnant or already have underlying morbidities. Tea leaves contain more than 700 chemicals, among which are the compounds closely related to human health are flavonoids, amino acids, vitamins, caffeine, and polysaccharides. Tea contains a type of antioxidant which are highest in concentration in white and green teas, while black tea has a substantially fewer level due to its oxidative preparation. There are said to be possible benefits of tea consumption in the prevention of cancer and cardiovascular diseases. However, these have not been convincingly demonstrated in humans. Many studies have examined the relationship between coffee consumption and certain health conditions. Whether the overall effects of coffee are ultimately positive or negative has never been widely established, but more disputed. The method of brewing coffee has been found to be important to these health effects. Though reported to produce clearer thoughts, increased focus, and better general body coordination, the amount of caffeine necessary to produce effects varies from person to person, depending on body size and degree of tolerance. Effects begin less than an hour after consumption, and the moderate dose usually wears off after about 5 hours. Caffeine has a number of effects on sleep, but does not affect all people in the same way. It improves performance during sleep deprivation, but may lead to subsequent insomnia. In shift workers, it leads to fewer mistakes caused by tiredness. In athletics, moderate doses of caffeine can improve sprint, endurance, and team sport performance, but improvements are not usually very large. High doses of caffeine, however, can impair athletic performance by interfering with the coordination of the individual. Evidence shows that, contrary to common advice, caffeine may be helpful at high altitude. Consumption of large amounts of caffeine, though, usually more than 500 milligrams per day, especially over extended periods of time, can lead to a condition known as caffeineism. Caffeineism usually combines caffeine dependency with a wide range of unpleasant physical and mental conditions, including nervousness, irritability, restlessness, insomnia, headaches, and heart palpitations. Caffeine increases pressure in the eye, and for people who have glaucoma can mean further complications, but does not appear to affect normal individuals. It may protect people from liver cirrhosis, but this is not empirical. There is no evidence that coffee stunts child's growth, but caffeine can be used in early-term babies to improve their breathing. Caffeine may increase the effectiveness of some medications, including ones used to treat headaches. From what we have seen in our program today, caffeine has both positive and negative impact on our health. It is used medicinally in many conditions, and then it is also a drug of choice for many people to just get that boost in the morning or a stimulant effect, especially when they have been run down. Health is critical, and anything that can destabilize from the balance of health in long term can become adverse. And though the lovely, hospitable habit of having a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or a stimulant drink may be useful for the short term, the consideration every time is the long-term effects of these habits. HealthWize always goes to focus on these choices we make so that we make the right choices for our bodies and don't have complications in the long term. As you cannot totally decipher what is your body's content for now and for tomorrow, it is imperative that you make the right choices now. And one of such choices we recommend is a lower intake of caffeine for yourselves. Romans chapter 8 verse 12 to 14 shows us something very interesting about us as Christians. In verse 12 it tells us that we're not debtors to the flesh, so we're not subject to the flesh. But specifically in verse 14, the Bible shows to us that they who are led of the Spirit are the sons of God. Sons here being the mature children of God. But particularly the word there being led is an inner inspiration, an inner stimulation that the Spirit of God gives us, an inner drive to do the things that we do on a daily basis. And this is especially where a stimulant is not required, because the Spirit of God will give you the stimulation you need for your everyday living and for the things that you need to do in life, for the objectives and the goals that you have. And we recommend that let the Spirit of God stimulate your life and bring you the best that God has in His kingdom and make you the best that you can be in every endeavor. HealthWize is your program, making sure you're doing the best with your health and with your life. And until we come again your way next week with something more interesting, dealing with the issues and the choices you make about your health, keep living in good health. God bless you.